Uh, Good evening. It looks as if today, we've been quite late, but whatever the case is, we're still going to make sure we serve you with the right purpose. Bear with us. I think this morning I had wanted to come here and do something, but as I said, I've decided to do this Sunday evening because that is when we're available you know, to work because we don't want to interrupt the program with all sorts of, trying to um, get the program interrupted by, how do you call it, a lot of work activities. But we believe that on Sundays, no one has, on Sundays, no one has a special thing to do, especially in the evening, you know. So we decided to do this on evening in the evenings. So let me see if I can get my brother Joe to start right away with, and then we can take it from there. You know, this is very important. Just bear with us. We're trying to put things together earlier, as I said, so that so you're live on Hate Freak Radio. I think my brother ODUPONG is supposed to join me today, but since he's not here, we're still not going to say that we're going to wait till he comes in or, anything. Um, this program, we're looking forward to doing it almost every Sunday. So, um, how do I call it? Make sure that we share this thing almost every um, Sunday. You know, let me see if I can get Chairman Yosin. Right. So what it is this morning. I said this morning, this evening. I've decided not to get almost all the topics to talk about tonight, but just to pick up one confusing statement Baumea has made, and then we thought, is he not taking advantage of how do you call it, the fact that we are being taken for granted as our um, being taken for granted as how do you call it, as some of the initiatives he's trying to do, because at the end of the day we would assume that why would he change the laws, if he believes that what he's being assisted the president to go along with is okay enough? Why would he have his own initiative when it comes? Anyway, so my question tonight is not about who is in charge of the NDC, but then if Baubian says when he comes, he will implement his own policies or maybe come up with something else. What would be the essence? Anyway, good evening, Joe.
Yeah, good evening, Doc.
How are you?
Oh, by God's grace, we are managing. We are not dead yet, so.
Oh no, don't worry. You're not gonna die.
We are only praying that the ghosts that have been sending money to people in Ghana now, they should kind of be reminded that we are alive, and so they can send us some money.
Okay, right.
Cecilia Dape's brother who is dead sent her some money. You remember?
Send Cecilia Dapa some money.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. What I'm saying, I mean, is it an issue you decide to talk about tonight? Well, it looks like
I'm only making a plea to my grandfathers and grandmothers.
Are you in need of money that badly?
Oh, if a minister is in need of money, how much more me? Am I a minister?
You don't need to be a minister to make money.
But even ministers, they say Ghana is so hard that now ghosts have to send them money.
Oh, dear.
How much more me?
Anyway, You're right.
Dog, if you don't need money, you when your ghost bring the money, direct them to my house.
You're right to some extent, you know.
Exactly.
And so anyway, let's go straight on tonight's topic and look at how your this thing your how do you find Baumia's idea of trying to make it look as if when he comes is going to have a different initiative? Does that make sense to you in the first place?
It doesn't. Let me first of all say good evening
Good
to
evening.
you, your producers.
I've seen you. What's his name? All right, you're going. That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Let me like I was saying, let me acknowledge those who have joined on. I've seen say Gabo on there, so let me say
no,
good
they
evening
are all
to
coming
him.
on now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the last minute apostle, and unfortunately the appointments are all done. So
you still insist that he should come to the NDC?
Oh, of course, he should join. He should join the party that is going to, because obviously nobody's going to give him an appointment. The appointment is all filled up, unless probably they sack his Jabin and they are kind of nominate him there to go and become the last minute crucifier. You know, to go and crucify the government. Yeah. So, but on a more serious note, I think it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I think it doesn't make sense. Because look, I think Mr. Baumia or Dr. Baumia is kind of denigrating the position of vice president. Because if for nothing at all, if the vice presidency was as useless as he thinks, probably the constitution in its supreme understanding wouldn't have allowed us to have that position. And the fact that the position is there, it is there for a reason, and a purposeful one for that matter. And so if you see, he contradicts himself, and that is very dangerous. You are saying, if you give me power, when I come, I'll change this, I'll change that, I'll change that. That, first of all, means you are distancing yourself from the government you are part of. You are the second gentleman of the land. So you are distancing yourself from what you and the first gentleman have been doing. The question is, why are you distancing yourself from your first gentleman?
That's a very good point.
Why are you
I'm going to
distancing yourself
help
from
me
him?
out with that, because I don't understand too.
Yeah, and then number two, just recently he was in Brongahafo. Is that not the case?
Right.
And he was trying to chastise John Mahama. And in doing that, a young lady asked him, when are we getting our allowance? Then all of a sudden he said, oh, I will check with the Ministry of Finance, and by Thursday you'll be paid. I don't know, I cannot verify, but I'm told the money has been paid. Oh, so he has power to call for payments to be made. Yeah. But he doesn't have power to stop Galamsey. He doesn't have power to save the city. He doesn't have power to save the ailing economy.
Looks like people are joining quite soon. I've seen this guy sending me a message. He's live, Mackenzie. Anyway, Joe, so we're going to have it bit by bit. We're not going to have much time with just one person because we're running late already. So just do me 3 minutes, and then I'll get somebody to do 4 or 5 minutes like that, and then we keep going, please.
Yeah, so my issue is that Dr. Baumia is proving to be inconsistent, and is proving to be who the people have ascribed him to be. The joker people are describing him to be. Because you cannot be saying this today and tomorrow you are saying another thing. You cannot be distancing yourself from a government that you are part of. And then when the government is saying there is no money to kind of augment the dialysis issue, there is no money to help how do you call it? Develop the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. There's no money for you to help the people of Ashanti region with the redevelopment of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. But you can order for the payment of nurses' allowance. I mean, this sparks of hypocrisy, this sparks of cowardice, and this sparks of, you know, that attitude, that cunning attitude of Dr. Baumia. It looks like he's only interested in power, and he doesn't care. He will say anything to win power. But unfortunately, we are all not like Chemaun to me. We are all not like Abronye. Some of us, we think. Some of us think. Because, doctor, you are a journalist. You are the middleman. And you yourself, you are confused. How much more the ordinary politician? You are confused as to who this man is. Because today, he's saying this, tomorrow he's saying another thing. He is inconsistent. How, the way the country is now, how can we give the country into a man who seems confused, who seems inconsistent, who doesn't even know what he's saying? Till now, doctor, he hasn't even come out with any policy. He hasn't come out with anything, and he has not told us as to why he's distancing himself from Akufo-Addo's regime. If Akufo-Addo has done well, doctor, you've seen today Man City win the Premier League for 4 times. Continuous. Is that not the case?
Congratulations to them. I have thought of saying that.
Yeah. The issue all know is that nobody changes a winning team. Is that not the case?
That's right.
Now, if Akufo-Addo is doing well, as Gabo wants us to believe, if Akufo-Addo is doing well and the MPP has done well, why is Baumia changing now winning team? Why is Baumia now saying that when he comes, he will scrap e-levy? Why is Baumia now saying that when he comes, he will get money for Confanoche redevelopment?
You know what? I've thought of trying to share the same sentiments with people who finds it quite weird. As if he himself is not happy with the Nana Akufo-Addo's policies, but I'm yet to find out from those I'm going to speak to after you to find out what they make of such statements. You know.
Well, Gabo, for instance, would defend everything because that is you know their trade. You see, they want to defend everything. They painted Akufo-Addo key soap. They painted him to us as iPhone 15 Pro Max. We bought it, and now we see
is the loyalty of the die-hard strategy of.
Yeah, but at this point, it is not about the loyalty of a die-hard MPP or NDC. It is about saving Ghana. At this point, it is about rescuing the nation. Because if Dr. Morton, $1 to 4 cedi was not good enough, how can you tell me that $1 to 15 cedis is good? Is better than $1 to 14 cedis? If somebody who was incompetent used over 250 million to build Sagleme housing, and another person, the competent person, used the same amount of money to dig a hole, doctor, where lies that morality for you to come and defend this?
Oh dear.
It's not about defending MPP again. Yes, we know there are people who are MPP supporters. Nobody is going to take away the fact that they love MPP. They were born with MPP blood and all that. That is okay. But the point is, we've gotten to that time that it is not about MPP and NDC. It is about saving Ghana. Because, doctor, the hole that is in Accra, the La General Hospital that has been destroyed by Nana Akufo-Addo until today, no block has been laid for the La General Hospital to be built. Today, the embassies were destroyed, the judges' houses were destroyed.
You have just 1 minute to land, please. Yeah.
To dig that hole. Today, if you go on Google to search the biggest hole on earth, it is in Ghana. That bad record, that bad precedent we are setting. That is what we are talking about. So the battle is not about MPP or NDC. The battle is about saving Ghana. And you see, even those who want to match it as MPP and NDC, I want to challenge them. It is not even about MPP. Despite the fact that MPP is in power, it is about Akufo-Addo and his family against Ghana. It is not even about Gabo, who is here from Sakro. Whatever. The only thing in his hometown, Sakro, is the burial grounds of Sejong.
All right.
That is the only.
Thank you.
The only thing development
good evening,
Sakro is. You see.
Joe, let me. Good evening, Gabo.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you live and clear. Today, your line is perfectly fantastic.
Thank you for coming, for linking me up. Greetings to Joe. Greetings to everyone on the platform. The last statement Joe made was that there's nothing as Sakao know apart from Sir John's burial bag. Maybe Joe doesn't know. Sakao know is a few kilometers away from Bomwe, and that area is a Kente Weaving village. Right. As a city, careful Kente weaver. Sir John, may God bless his soul, was a weaver. Anybody from there is a Kente weaver. We are born into it. In the likely event of Baumia becoming the president, if he decides to go for the traditional, I know he's a Muslim. If he does not decide to go for the traditional way, he wants to go for Kente. That Kente may have been woven by somebody from Sacramento, maybe nephews or members, or either from there or from Bonue. Sacramento people, we dress the presidents, and I want to believe that they can take that Kwame Nkrumah use. The black man is capable of, but that managing his own affair that may have come from Sacramento. And Sacramento for put a lot to Ghanaian economy, that non-traditional economy.
Oh, good evening, Mr.
Yes, I do. Bury a year or and Sacramento. The Kente women.
Okay.
We make a lot. We make contribution. Okay. Now, or can be say, Baumua is really interested in power. No. Obi interested only in power. Is in former president. On the interested in power. Okay. How do you say it? The late Professor Paul Tire.
Okay.
Professor means handing over the economy to Mahama take over. The growth the economy of about 14%. Time Mahama increased on December 2016. Mahama had run down the economic growth rate to 0.4%. Now, say when you're president here, or no one party move, maintain the party, the growth of 14%. No, they will do 4%. Send the power with one some baby one. And yet, power can obey. We 4 or 5 years doing so. I'm not doing so. Didn't do so. Yeah, added to the dictionary. What did Samuel Johnson he has added one word to his brainchild. Dr. Johnson,
yeah, but
you do some, do so right. You can find that. It's the one I knew where that came. And the only person, so also all bad for power's sake.
Okay, so
24-hour economy. 24-hour economy.
What I want to know is, what Baumia believes in the credibility of the existing president's leadership, ideology and all that. And so,
yes, it does.
What does he find not very good with this way of governance? Because if you're coming in, say you're going to clear or get rid of what an Akufo-Addo have it in place, and you're going to have your own policies. We're not saying, sir, what do you bring in is not good, but it tells us that you don't seem to be very much, getting jiggy with what's it seems to be ideologies now. I don't know if you get it. Yes, sir.
Before I answer this question, let me ask you this.
Okay.
So, a question that board is what answer. Is it the same words that came from Dr. Baumua, or somebody has just paraphrased whatever he has said somewhere and brought this one up? Is it the same words? Are we sure about it? What are the exact words coming from Baumua?
That's everything. Every question you have every right to find out. To be honest with you, I have not checked whether Baumia himself. I know media gimmicks.
No. One of the ND's communicators, I think. Was it?
Yeah, but you can't say you think. You can only be sure if Baumia himself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have come out.
So one of them. One of them did that. well, I'm saying this. I'm sorry for that. I'm saying one of the communicators and this in yes, I did. I'm not putting words. Maybe I'm using it. Maybe I'm not too sure about that. But these are not words coming from Burma. And these Bono Macquanes are the
I see. Anyway,
so
what 3 minutes? What 3 minutes, Pacho?
I'm just saying these are the words coming from Burma. What's wrong with that? Assuming what's coming from. What is wrong with that? He's a very. He hasn't got to do. Yeah. With the idea for 8 years running, God knows where he had made mistakes. He was a former, he knows where wrong. Some of the leading members will be in baby and they may go wrong. So if we have patience in the governance and Baumakas Oba, he may do different. He just a normal thing. I don't see anything wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
It's going to be new agenda. What is that? Say, why are deepness in here? We cannot also, at the same token, we can also say, I did be and be before their ban. Now, my main question back on the motion. If you find the future, if you know you can the future, what's the history of what's the history? Economic growth to 4% Ghana in the midst of all the crisis. Economic growth rate of Ghana 2.819%. Okay, last week in newspaper front page. Chroma. They are into. I'm not talking about the gross domestic product of Britain. The gross domestic product of Britain are trillions of dollars. I'm talking about economic growth rate. And down the city, there's joy galore, and then there's 0.6% growth rate. 0.6% growth rate in British economy. Oh, there's joy galore. They are now out from recession, according to their first quarter statistics. So 0.6%. Financial Times front page.
Oh, I know, sir. It's a credible print media house. That's fine.
In the midst of this, we are growing the economy 2.8%.
All right, Sir Gabu, Mr. First year, Mr. Not main for a Mackenzie, Mr. Mackenzie, so a line of some patrol.
Okay. I did. And is emotions and some more can and my side not check here. We see before 2006 this guy, Dr. Two communication ministers, Manibuama, any Farisu Fosukwashi. Almost so now the can some Mr. Sense. One of the NDC man call Joy FM. Okay, look at another picture, and ODU is that his picture? No, another one of the useful pictures. They could have the pictures be advert. No more say. Sounds like the almost say. Yama across by radio station but can do. None of the pictures on the agro. If you are yellow, it's answer no okay. Sankanado, Yako 3 years, Yako 3 times. In the midst of other troubles, Ghanaians will still vote for Nanado. Okay? Whether they like it or not. Dr. Ajiman Baumia Ajiman.
Thank you.
Dr. Ajiman Baumia Ajiman will win the.
All right. But that's it.
He's going to win. He's going to win. Yeah.
But that's it. All right. Good evening.
Going to win the election.
Good evening, Mackenzie.
And yes.
What if I see a man? Good evening, Sabatu. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mackenzie.
Good evening.
Oh, Sabagabo, Mr. I don't see my name full before for a while, Mr.
Manosi, go ahead.
Okay. Mackenzie.
I respect the rules.
George FM. This is what we have on the table, you know. We're finding it very difficult to look at Baumia's idea of, coming in with his own, if not implementations or ideologies or initiatives. And, we have the feelings. It looks as if he's not very down with what he seems to be assisting within the leadership of the country.
Yes, I agree with you, because this is not about partisan. It's about assessment of the two candidates. If you are in government and you are the vice president of Ghana, you are not just an ordinary candidate. And saying all what you are saying, when I listened to the man who spoke before me, it was said by Bawumia. It was not said by any of the NDC communicators.
But you don't have any grounds to prove that, do you?
Oh yes, I listened to Bawumia when he was launching his vision for Ghana,
and he said this.
I listened to everything. Yeah, he said so many things.
No, he said this.
He said
What
so
the
many
topic
things.
at stake is what I'm trying to say. Did he say this?
He has right to change, but let me tell you, if you are in the same boat and the boat is sinking and you cannot say anything about the sinking of the boat, B-O-A-T, yeah, and you jump out and come and say, when I come, but you're supposed to save the boat. City, you are supposed to help save the boat so that people will know that, yes, this man, we can trust him. We can say, yes, he can. We are all Ghanaians. Nobody hates anybody. After all, we all, both NDC and NPP and the political parties, they want the good for the country. Some comes and they do infrastructure. They want to make sure they have infrastructure in place to cater for so many things. So also come, they do a program whereby, but you know what? There's one secret that I want to reveal today on your station.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
That's that maternity, they say Kufuor maternity, this thing. It was not a policy. It was a grant, and every day people are. When NDC came, I'm not saying everyone have got his, but let's face reality. It was a grant because by then child mortality was a bit down. A lot of people are losing their children or themselves when they go for to deliver. So the British government grant. It was a grant, but people believe that when Atamis came, he is the one who abolished them. Nana Addo is even still saying it. This is where with our leaders, it looked like we are trying to create a division among Ghanaians instead of helping Ghanaians to reason up, because tomorrow leave them to carry on the mantle of this divide and rule issue is not going to help us. But when someone from MPP is doing something that is good, we have to support it, whether we like it or not. Because we can't allow that 4 years to pass without supporting it. You know, apart from criticism and all those things, we still need to disagree to agree so that the country will go forward. Because any policy that will benefit the people will benefit all.
Okay.
So I believe that
you have 2 minutes, please.
If you are in a group and something is going on in the group and you cannot say anything until you have been given the mantle to carry on, then it means a lot.
Okay.
It means a lot because it's very, very difficult to assess. Because how do I assess you? It's true. When you were in the group, like PC Ofori, when the voter was in power, yeah, he refused to take the money that was shared to members of parliament. He refused it. This is what Bawumia should have done. He levied things that is going to push into extreme poverty. You, being the leader of the economic team. That's why Nana Addo said, I'm choosing Bawumia
because he's going to do something about the economy.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Look,
Mackenzie. You hold on your words. You will bring it back. But let me pick. Good evening, Sabato. Sabato there. Hello, Sabato Ohana. Okay, let me go back to Joe. Sabato, I don't think his line seems to be frozen. Joe, way back again. Now, what Mackenzie is trying to say is this: that as a if you have the position, then you can help solve a situation, and then you keep quiet over it. But I believe these things, position counts, and then as a vice president, you have an influential position to actually talk about some of the things that, unless what I call the partisan gimmicks, in the sense that because you're an MPP, you wouldn't like people to know that the leadership has a problem. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, Joe.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I totally agree with my good uncle Mackenzie with what he said. Look, like he referenced this to a boat, and quite frankly, so if the boat is sinking, and you cannot do anything to keep the boat, on the sea, and then you allow it to sink, and then you come and tell us that if we give you the chance, you would then go and bring the boat or whatever. In the first place, that magic one that you've got, that opportunity you've got to go and bring the boat from under the sea, why couldn't you use that kind of magic, wand, or that intellectual ability to save the boat? Rather, you allow the boat to sink. This is where we are. £1 is 18 cedis now. The economy is dying. Everything is dying. Look at Galamsey. Galamsey is killing us. It is destroying the land. Now, by the time we go to December 2024 to do the election, and assuming all Ghanaians are dead, who are you going to govern? If you have anything to do, this is the time. This is the time. Unless he wants to tell me that he is a wicked person. Unless Baumia wants to tell me that he is that wicked person, that he's got something in his head, but he doesn't want to give that thing to Akufo-Addo to kind of save the situation. Then obviously, that issue also is that we cannot vote for someone who is so wicked. We cannot vote for someone who is so blunt, who is so that with that attitude that he cannot, provide to the neighbor. Because we all know, doctor, we as Ghanaians, we know we help ourselves, help your neighbor, we do communal labor. Now, if you are in that government and you can look, Baumia was nobody. Nana Akufo-Addo handpicked him and made him who he is now. That today he's giving contract to his in-laws and his brothers and his uncles and all that. And so if he has anything to help Nana Akufo-Addo, he should offer it now, rather than waiting. But you see, doctor, the truth of the matter is that the man has nothing to offer. The man has nothing to offer.
Would he have done all these campaigns just not to have anything?
You think Baumia would not love to have that glory of saving the city, of being that economic wasted as was sold to us in 2016? You think Baumia would not love to brag about how he has saved the city? Look, when he didn't do anything and the city was a bit stable, did he not brag about arresting the city and giving the keys to the IGP? Today, Segabo is here talking about John Mahama destroying economy, and for that matter, John Mahama is rather desperate for power. Look, doctor, with all due respect, you doctor now, you compare John Mahama in 2016 to Akufo-Addo Baumia in 2024. Would you want a $1 to 4 cedi, or you would want $1 to 15 cedis? Which one would you prefer? Would you want iron rods or cement that was selling for 16 cedis to now iron rods selling for 90 cedis or 100 and something cedis? These are the things we need to make comparison with. It's not about bragging about Mahama did this. Yes, Mahama was incompetent. Let us assume without admitting. But the point is, an incompetent Mahama managed to keep the dollar at 4 cedis. An incompetent Mahama managed to keep the economy, our overall debt from Kwame Nkrumah to Mahama as of December 2016 was 122 billion. Today, under Akufo-Addo alone, doctor, subtract 122 from 700 billion. How much is it? Akufo-Addo alone has added over 400 and something billion into our debt. Yet the only thing he can show, like I said, and I do not apologize for this, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. All that we can show under this government, all that he can show is a big hole and the barrier place of Sir John.
Yeah.
That is all. That is all. Apart from that, the other legacy Nana Akufo-Addo has done, and Segamo is here defending Nana Akufo-Addo and defending Bawumia. And Nana Akufo-Addo, this history, he is talking about someone saying Dumso is now in part of a dictionary and someone will be happy about. Today, the whole world, not even in India, doctor, not in India where we are told that anything can happen there in India. Look, today, under Akufo-Addo's government, ghost under Akufo-Addo's government, which history is bad as this? Ghost, that a minister of state, his brother, the government cannot even pay him, and he has to take his brother to send him money to put in his bank account. Today, the Cecilia Adapa case, is that not the case? Is it not the case that we are told that Cecilia Adapa's brother brought the money to Cecilia Adapa? Is it not the case?
It is the case.
If Ghana were not hard, how can a ghost be sending money? When I was a child, I only knew ghosts were sending lotto numbers. But today, Ghana is so hard that ghosts are now sending money.
Mr. Dupont, you have 1 minute.
Oh my God.
You have 1 minute.
No, the situation is dire. The situation is something we cannot prevent. We are in a crisis. In fact, we are in a humanitarian crisis. But you see, doctor,
yes, sir.
The point is that I have said, and I said this last week, Ghana is on the verge of becoming the only African country to have had 4 turnovers in elections. That history has to be made, and nobody is going to change that. If Dr. Bawumia, the EC, Nana Akufo-Addo thinks they are going to use rating to change that history, that history cannot be changed.
I think your time
we
is
are
up.
going to have we are going to have a change of power come December 2020.
Okay. Good luck.
The government is going to change. I have said it, and doctor, mark it on there. If we are to have only 2 people voting, even if it has to take Akufo-Addo and his wife to vote for John Mahama to win, they will vote for John Mahama to win. Mark it in your studio there.
Okay.
Because they themselves, they know that Ghana is worse. If not, they will not be chasing Kisie Jabin. If not, they will not be chasing Kisie Jabin out. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Odupong. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Doctor.
Sabato. Whoa. Now, actually, I'm in town. Can't see me say, "Dear, what does you call?"
I wouldn't imagine.
Anyway, good evening. As I'm at that pronunciation, my say, I mean, if you believe in the credibility of your leader, and I say somebody who lead the stairs of affairs, why would you suggest you would have other options when you come into power? As I see, said, you're not happy with what's going on presently. Sanitiana.
Oh yeah, Doctor. Let me say hello to my colleagues on the other side, and good evening to your viewers as well.
People were holding the line. Yes, go on.
Yeah, Doctor. When it comes to credibility issues, I think this Nana Bawumia government has been dishonest since they took power. Why am I saying that? Because they appointed 120 ministers, and they tell all of us that, look, we are in a difficult situation, so we are in a rush to make sure that things are fixed and fixed well. So because of that, we need to make those appointments to have an effect in the economy and the other areas that
they think Mahama has destroyed. And myself and you and my colleagues, we know how much it takes to serve one minister and the rest, how much it takes to maybe one minister, and it's not to think of 2 or 3, but 126. And it was a talking point within the world. Everybody is saying, even India, that Joe did mention, they don't have ministers up to 126, even the US. So, but Nana Akufo-Addo is saying, look, we want to make sure that we have done the right thing. And then from 2019, the CD started depreciation when Nana Akufo-Addo formed, I think, 46 committee, included this Imani guy, Franklin Kujo, was among those things to go and find out why, what happened, what make the CD depreciate 12%. So since from then, our economy has been in shambles, and if you care to know, that was the time that we finished being with the IMF. So the government policy itself has kicked in. So in terms of credibility, this government is behind. Look, this is the government that told the people of Ghanaian that, look, we are a sovereign nation. We can look after ourselves. We are not going to the IMF, included the one that was buried yesterday, John Kuma, as a deputy financial, said that Kano Foriata, Nana Akufo-Addo himself, going to IMF today, we are not going tomorrow. Then came in, even before that, there was a E-levy who's supposed to be everything in Ghana. If you get a headache, if you got stomach pain, whatever you have, the E-levy can, with the past E-levy stand till now, Ghana is still the same way but they told us that, oh, there will not be E-levy. Look, those momos have been used by the poorest, so there is no way you're supposed to tax them. So when it comes to this, as you are aware, even included the gay issue, look the way Nana Akufo-Addo has handled it. After the both side of the house has agreed, put laws that will maybe force others not to commit those kind of thing in our country, instead of Nana Akufo-Addo to agree to it. Now Nana Akufo-Addo has kept it, and then running behind the judiciary, the Supreme Court decision, because he know he has some people there who can make those decisions for him. Also, you remember when I said that, look, you can go on to the Newsfile, you can go everywhere, you can do all the propaganda as you want. When the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Today, as we are talking, the exchange rate has exposed Bawumia to extend that he cannot even talk about the economy anymore. What last time, doctor, you hear Dr. Bawumia talking about the economy? Bawumia, you know, he was good then.
The thing I know about Bawumia is whichever way you accuse him of thinking is hit the wall, he'll come back to say something. He's always got something to say. So that one, there's no problem. Only that people have not bombarded him with the questions. So obviously he stays in the corner until somebody approaches him with why.
Yeah, because if you record, he did put 170 questions for late Pakosi Amisata as a vice president then, thinking that he is in charge of the economy. So those 170 questions, we are asking him to answer them now so that the economy can be back on track. But since then, Bawumia has been moved on the economy. And doctor, before I land, listen, now being an NDC communicator, myself or Joe or anybody who speaks for NDC, you don't need anybody to tell you that you need to vote against this government. You don't need, because all the records, the Mahama administration 4 years, all the records from economic figures, not if it's about inflation rate, whether it's a debt to the GDP ratio, whether it's our public debt, ceded to the dollar rate. Tell me inflation rate. Tell me which one has this MPP government for the past managed to better than John Dramani Mahama 4 years. So, why is it somebody like my own brother? What is the name? Oh, what is the name? Yes. Gago. Why is it that because all the figures at the moment, including the corruption, does not favor this government. So with that, I don't think that anybody, any man for Ghanaian is supposed to go and say, "Oh, I'm going to vote."
Thank you.
Unless you are part of the family, unless you are part of where the Jew said that you are part of Anti-Cecilia, the past family, unless to Kenoforiata's family, unless you belong to Baumia's family. Apart from that, I don't think any man for Ghanaian who think Ghana.
Thank you. Sabatu, why Jim Reno, Mr. What do you trust, Mammy? Why, Mr. What do you know so that?
Okay.
Because it will be I have better studio see over as the ODUPONG. As I want to work for I was one year, I was here to my MPP. I mean, was it this cry, your work crying, yeah, Chinese in your body and yet in Sakan on the day, who grew the bed and I one on one. Okasaka some year and said in common.
A friend is saying, Nia Onimna Oka. Sana Metese Joe can be said, yeah, the ghost Abba. But I don't say a Joe opinion. You see, the seriousness of the issue is the fact that at the moment, Ghana is going down, 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 down. And the reason being that Nanado hasn't taken lead as a driver, you see. He's put.
You think he's playing much of negligence as far as leadership is concerned?
Yes, because you see, at the time, a lot of Ghanaians had trust in him, in the sense that there were a lot of things we were told about the NDC government, and we saw that if the NDC government was, looking after their members, that we needed a government that would look after Ghanaians. Hence, we were all with the opinion that we need a change. And also, it is also good for our democracy, because if you have one party going on and on and on, making the same mistakes, it doesn't help. So you need a change to bring that change. But the change that we brought, in fact, has caused a problem. As I said, Nanado is a driver, but he's not driving correct. He's not driving well.
Right, but so he's got the mandate, all right. But what he's not driving well.
Yes,
that's what it is. There's something wrong with the way he's driving.
Yes.
Okay. What are you, Pacho?
Yes.
All right, Segabu.
Yeah. Thank you again. Let me say this. Our brothers in the NDC are now turning themselves as faceless political bureaucrats. Our brothers in the NDC are now turning themselves as faceless political bureaucrats. They are talking about LGBT plus, lawyer by Dr. Morton.
Yes, sir.
Our own Ghanaian culture, the biggest society out there, frowns on our own big society out there frowns on it. Our brothers in parliament has voted against that. We know that. Nanado behind any Supreme Court decision, but we see there's one thing I need to tell the NDC people.
Okay.
Politics is about pragmatism. We have to be very practical. If you're not getting money from the World Bank and IMF, now Omano a 2 case we have always few years I've come and transfer now. If you go beyond, we have always depended on our Western donor countries to run the country. Even election, our budget will be. And Ghana, we can take away these Western donor countries from them. IMF and World Bank, from Japanese government, from Swedish government, Danish government. One more boy. It is a fact because we are still developing. And then none of them this can't run a country, no anything. Politics is being pragmatic. And the own Abidjan said, and this is one said, they are not election anyway. And I know some women the same thing. They're not going to win election.
Did you say they're going to lose the election?
Faceless. We know when we are in politics, we think about the needs of the people. We need to run the country.
You think Nana don't think about the needs of Ghanaians today?
Yes, why not? Nana don't think about the needs of Ghana. I could be a school. One of the things that happened to Ghana, this is one factory, the joint partnership, public and private partnership policy in Ghana. No? This is one, more than these are working. You don't know about. We don't know. Mahama Eka 24-hour economy. 24 is a product, is output of a process. I had a system. A baby transit. Friend Adam Smith. As he's the father of economics. That Scottish boy guy. He went to the uni at the age of 14 years. But are you your friend? An inquiry into the causes of wealth in countries, in nations. What is this? See, can't be able to empower. It is the private individual. He called that invisible hand. It individual who will think and earn a profit, will set up a company, and then by doing that, he'll produce quality goods that will create demand and supply, and people will buy them, and they create employment. And when people are employed, they use the money to buy.
Let me ask you. Very simple question.
Go ahead.
And Siwanka says, what do you think is the problem of why the citizenry are crying out loud to the government? What do you think?
There are challenges. Now, Mikasho, Dr. Morton, challenges everywhere. Mikasho say, come here. Toilet roll, a pack of toilet, family pack of toilet, 12 pounds, and I do 25 from farm foods.
But relatively, you don't see the drastic change between Ahasi and Agana.
Yes. The end is going to be radio. Anyway, we know Malaysia because we for him, right? When Dr. Morton, 24-hour economy now, Mahama so they ban. What's my church? Then no year got transfer. Just was playing what he meant by that. What is from what economic textbook? But you said you okay, but that was not. It was nobody. And it's Joe, we do that. Don't mix up blanket statements. But Obama was nobody. Obi will not say Ganako school. Abasna Pasako Oxford. What universities Canada.
What 3 minutes?
Go back to Ghana and work in bank. Became the deputy governor of Bank of Ghana. You are telling people that he was nobody. What are you talking about? Family. He's done for Ghana. But Ghana. But when I know Uber. What my board popular address in the Uber Baba. You have the address system in Ghana. But when you know can transfer money on somebody's mobile phone. There was nobody.
Digital age.
We just make brazen statements.
Digital age.
Ghana, you won't work. But MORTON, brother, you're Pelicia, you. At your age, how many vice presidents have become so popular like Bawumia? How many of them? How many of them? Because of Bawumia's role compared to Muhammad's vice president, Muhammad's as a president, is incomparable. It's not comparable.
Do we?
Yo, what about man?
No, can you miss statements? Let me.
They don't want to interrupt the time. I don't want to interrupt.
You see, Governor said it. I do not know the kind of people we are talking to on this platform. I don't know the economists. I don't know. I'm not going to underestimate anything. But let me say this: when Bawumia said that when the fundamentals are weak, the city was supposed to. What he said yesterday is true today. What is true? Go for a few. Ghana country go up. SS for people on me. Ghana is a developing country. Having a continued depreciation of your currency, a basket of other currencies is a really developing country. Yeah?
I'm so time also. Okay. What do you have my pacho? I'm on for a line, super Mr.
We are a country of low production. I mean, what is wrong with that?
Okay.
Well,
so when him said
we are not advanced.
But so what it is this what it is this
was true.
Over pacho utia me pesa me kase. When
I'm ending.
Okay.
Let me end this. Let me end by saying this. Okay. Let me end by saying this. Dr. MORTON, you are in this Sabato is in this country, and all those people who are Ghanaians who are here, greener pastures is here because we all find ourselves in an advanced country of a vast base of potential capacity.
As someone I'm be say. As someone I'm be say, what is it about Akufo-Addo that the people don't? Are they misconstruing? Are they misunderstanding his way of governance? I didn't see that people are making noise about Akufo-Addo's leadership. That's what I'm saying.
Let me see. If Ghana were to go for a third term, Ghanaians were still going to vote for Nana Akufo-Addo. And it's more motions, they do not win them a lesson. We are not bad. There are no challenges in Ghana. There are challenges. But what Bawumia makes sense. It makes sense. Bawumia may have seen some limitations in Nanado's governance. And therefore, when he mandate, he made some. What's wrong with this?
Yeah,
it makes sense. A sensible.
Okay, so the people want to know. The people want to know that if there are some certain things Bawumia needs to feed Akufo-Addo or to maybe call his attention to it or call him to order to these things, what stops him? Anyway, we don't know what goes on beyond closed doors, and I'll say within the
yes, you don't have all the facts.
Yeah,
you don't know all the facts. I know the event.
All right, no problem. Thanks very much, Mackenzie. When you're done, then I'll come back to Joe, and then I'll come to Sabata.
Okay, you're going to someone else now.
No, you finish. When you finish, then I'll come to Joe, and I'll come to
Okay.
I want everybody to have a fair share of the time.
Honestly speaking, what the last caller is talking about, I beg to differ. Reason why I beg to differ is because as a Ghanaian, if we are talking about Ghana, let's talk about Ghana. Let's talk about Ghana, the way we do our things. Even common sense will let you understand that last 2 years is even better than this year. it happens. For him to question those who are here, our economic capability, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Because common sense is bigger than being a professor. Common sense is bigger than that. That is a natural intelligence. And that is what we are talking about here. Look, there's a man sitting in a trotro, and people are saying hardship and hardship and hardship. No matter what, to vote for MPP. And they start beating the man. It tells you the hunger. Today, let me tell you, betting. If you win a betting and they take tax from you, it's reasonable. But if you are going to even bet and they will take tax before your betting, there's a question mark. To be honest, Ghanaians are crying. Those who are not are crying. Everywhere is tight. Everywhere is tight. Our economy is crashing down. It's crashing. What I want to tell my brother is, this is not about, because it's not about you being MPP, me being NDC, or me being CPP, or me being this or that. It's about the people. There's no MPP. There's nobody or NDC. But there's one name that can identify all of us, Ghanaians.
That's right.
So I beg to differ with him. And he should apologize, because some of us, when you say a wrong, to apologize, because in our credibility. Do you think Dr. Martin doesn't know who those who have is bringing on the platform?
I think let me come in here, Mackenzie. I think he wasn't saying anything to demean the standards of those on the show. I think he was saying that with what is happening, he doesn't know. That's why he made it general that he doesn't know those who are listening, because he felt Joe was not giving Bawumia the standard he deserves as a vice president and the CV he has.
Bawumia don't deserve any standard. The Bawumia doesn't, because look, let me tell you, Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghanaians trusted him. I'm telling you, Ghanaians trusted him, including NDC, CPP, and everybody, because Nana Akufo-Addo was crying that give us trying, and everything will change. What are we seeing? And an economic, why he chose Bawumia? He chose Bawumia because of his competent in economics. What are we seeing now? What are we seeing now?
Well, so so are you saying Nana Akufo-Addo has made the wrong choice as to who assists him? Or
he did not make the wrong choice. He did not make the wrong choice. Nana Akufo-Addo, during the time he was asking for power, nobody knew the agenda he has. Nobody knew that he has. Because if for so long our money that we are owing the world is 150 something billion, and you have added 400 and something billion to it, there's a big question mark. Where are the money? Where are the Sabulugu Dam that they talk they have already completed it? Look, what is happening in Ghana. I believe personally that if even in 2020 the NDC won the election, if in 2024 is the same system, they are going to rig the election, and that is going to cause for a chaos. And I'm telling you, if we don't,
all right, Mackenzie, you have 2 minutes.
What happened in Ivory Coast? Yeah, what happened in Ivory Coast is going to happen in Ghana too. We should not rule that out. And for me, I'm alert on it, because the MPP won't want to break the 8, where nothing to show to break the 8. There's nothing to show.
All right.
There's nothing to show.
Thank you.
Like I told you, even Kufuor did not tell the Ghanaians, because if it is a mortality, the maternity fund, it was a grant. Go into details. Let him Google right now and find out whether it was in a grant. He says it's a
okay.
So Adams came and called it. It was a grant.
All right, Mackenzie, let me move on to Joe. So Joe, so Baumia is not just anybody at all. It's somebody who has a CV that deserves some sort of recognition.
Doc, you see,
I know it's the impact that matters.
You see,
I know
Gabo is kind of rebuking people and saying that they are speaking on emotions, but he is rather doing worse.
And he's the one speaking on emotion.
Yeah, that is that is the MPP's stock of trade. You know,
I think he feel you demeaning Baumia's standard. That's all.
No, if I demean Baumia, is Baumia not paid by my taxes? What do you mean by I'm demeaning him? Is Baumia not paid? Is Baumia the vice president?
But if you say he's nobody,
himself,
maybe the word nobody. That's what said Gabo doesn't understand.
Listen. You are educated. You live in the United Kingdom, and I believe that Gabo also lives in the United Kingdom, and he's educated as well. We wake up and we talk, or your papa and kaumpe, or your mommy and kaumpe, or your papa be do position. Papa gun is can edit you. That kind of argument should be. We sat down here before Akufo-Addo became president. Has he rented a private jet before? Had Akufo-Addo rented a private jet before? Yet he became president and he used our money to rent private jet. And we still say, "Oh, your papa and kaumpe, oh, Bushman and kaumpe." This is what gets me even angry more. Look, are we running a popularity contest? If we were running a popularity contest and we wanted a vice president who was popular, we could have gone to choose Lewen Kodjon Kansa rather than Baumia. Okay, we could have gone to choose Kodjon Kansa or probably Shatawale or Stoneboy rather than Baumia.
No,
we are talking about who is more popular. Who is more popular? Look, doctor, let us run an intellectual argument in the history of Ghana. Let us add all the coup d'etats and all that in the history of Ghana. Who has become the vice president of Ghana? That Ghana's cedi $1 is to 15 cedis. Who? Even under coup d'etat, even under 1983. Who? In the history of Ghana, if you are talking about someone is so popular, everybody know him because who had described as a joker, as a comedian in the history of Ghana as the vice president of Ghana. So people should stop this. Excuse my friend, this nonsense of he is this or Bushman Kaumpe or degree, whatever. Who doesn't have a degree?
They should go and top his degree. Common sense is intelligent.
What are you talking about?
No,
he
hold
has
on.
a degree.
Hold on. What I'm saying is,
I'm coming, please. I'm coming.
No, I'm gonna need a decent words here. That's
a decent. We are having a decent conversation.
Calm down. Well, what I'm saying is, okay, so Baumia as a person, well, forget about the fact that we mandated him to become our leader. Well, if somebody, as you are, a lay Ghanaian man wouldn't have known your status as to who Joe you are. But then I don't assume that you would be happy to be considered somebody who is nobody. I don't know if you get my point. In as much as the person doesn't know you.
When I said he was nobody, I didn't mean he was nobody as in he was somebody eating from the floor.
Well,
I meant political.
He's not pulling his weight as what he's considered to be.
When I said he was nobody, I meant politically nobody knew him. And even as governor of Bank of Ghana, what did he do that we could attribute to Baumia? What did he do? And that is what I meant by he was nobody.
Okay, let me not eat much into your time so that...
but if people want to take it to that level, we can go to that level as well. Because as far as I am concerned, Segabo, I am somebody than Baumia. You know why? Because me, without the degrees Baumia has got, I am not paid by Ghana's taxpayers. I pay Baumia, my father pay Baumia, and so I have every right to challenge who he is. Okay? If you give your child money to buy food, you can tell your child what to do. It is not your child who has to tell you what to do. If Segabo doesn't understand, he should know. If he allows his children to control him, I will not allow my children to control me. The point I am trying to make is that Baumia, by the degrees and all that Segabo is today talking about,
right? Joe, you have 2 minutes.
He has PhD with God at the University of Heaven. We gave him a job.
You have 2 minutes.
Per that degree, per that certificate, per that qualification he has with God, we gave him a job, and that is to manage the economy of Ghana. What has he done with that?
Right. I'm not done. Please, I'm not saying you should stop. I'm trying to see Mambedu calling, but I think maybe until you finish, I can't pick his call. Oh, so Mambedu, I'm watching. Let Joe finish, and then I'll see if I can add you up. Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
So what we are saying is that we give people jobs to do.
Yeah.
If people are talking about Baumia Wubusiema and Kawompe, when we were calling John Mahama incompetent. John Mahama Wubusiema and Kawompe.
I mean,
when you were calling me incompetent, John Mahama is this, John Mahama is this.
That is even political language.
This is what brings about the kind of.
No, but doctor, to be honest, the last second caller, if he is talking, he should not feel bigger than any. Because he doesn't know some of us.
I think you're swaying from what he said. All he was saying is that Baumia is a vice president, for heaven's sake. That's all he's saying.
That to your understanding, he said he doesn't know the level. That's what he's talking about.
No. That's not what he said.
Know the level.
Exactly. He said that Baumia.
He said it.
How many?
That is. He doesn't know the level.
Do I have in my family?
Let me.
Who is Baumia? Baumia can never be.
Who is stealing Gadangme people land?
Please, can we discuss this as gentlemen, please? What I'm trying to say
if you allow Gabo to kind of run the conversation to that level,
honestly, I don't
generate into this kind of thing.
This is what I'm saying. I think it was only cautioning that Baumia should be considered as a vice president, at least. That's all I think to understand.
Have I not considered him as a vice president?
Everybody knows who have refused that Baumia is not a vice president, but he should not come and say that he doesn't know the level. He doesn't. He believes our IQ is low and he is high.
Okay, so you don't know the level of people who are listening. No? Let him, the man himself.
I never said that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just put. I didn't know their background in economics. I didn't say their level. I didn't say their background in economics.
Because of that?
You see,
economy.
You cannot just start talking about anything you have no idea.
Doctor,
you just cannot stop talking about anything you have no idea.
I'm getting down.
Doctor, can I continue?
People have made themselves Aristotles, who have not.
What I'm saying
is about. They start talking about economic issues. They made themselves Aristotles, talking about every issue.
Tell us what
every issue.
We are doing politics.
Okay.
Joe, you're a fan of running people down like this. You tell them Bemwa is nobody. What do you mean by nobody?
I am on the floor.
Nobody.
Allow me
yeah, because you are not allowing me to talk.
If you are not happy with it.
Oh, man.
We are
hold on. Please, can I speak, please? Can I speak? Otherwise, maybe we have to forget about this program. Otherwise, honestly, at least we want to talk one after the other. I want us to take our time, voice out your concerns and what you think you're not happy with one by one. Joe, please, if you land, then I will add Baby to it, please.
Yeah.
But forget about how say Gabo see you address Baumia.
Yeah, I have not run Baumia down. I am questioning Baumia. I am kind of demanding accountability from someone I pay. I am demanding accountability. If today I ask someone to go and do something for me, I need to let that person run accounts. And on the basis of the accountability, I can also ask some questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? That is what I am doing. I'm subjecting him. He came to us with a CV telling us that he is an economic messiah.
Okay.
By virtue of that economic messiahship, that is why I am saying the things I am saying. The economic messiah has run our economy aground, and that is what we are saying. Politics is not only about economics. And so if you are telling me I have not read economic textbook before, has Baumia also read a politics textbook before?
Okay.
Politics is not about economics alone. It encompasses a lot of things. Fortunately for us, Baumia happens to be part of that body, which is the economic body of politics. And that is why we are questioning him on. If Nana Akufo-Addo was an economic student, he failed in economics anyway. That's why he brought on Baumia. And for that matter, we are questioning Baumia based on his CV, what he says is competent in. And that's what we question him. Okay. What I'm saying is that What I am saying is that Dr. Baumia cannot be trusted. Dr. failed, and like Sabato was saying, today, as economic, he has read all the economic textbooks in this world.
Joe, I think your time is up.
Today,
I think your time is up.
He talking about economics. He's doing digitalization and all that, building toilets. He is not an architect. He's building toilets. Today, Baumia is talking about toilets. If I'm lying.
All right, it's okay.
If I say this man is nobody, people are saying,
Joe,
how can you go to Oxford and become to build toilets in Ghana?
You stay.
How can Oxford
Joe,
be
1 minute.
Toilets?
You have spoken. How can you
go to Oxford? The thing you can learn from Oxford is to come and build toilets in Ghana. You know we cannot question such a
hypocrisy.
Maybe I had to mute you and then you can go. So let me read what Antibadu is saying. Antibadu is saying that brace yourselves for the contribution of the current party in power. Check your records. The dollar was $2.2 to the pound in 2007 to 2012 on. Currently, it is hovering around $1.24 to the pound. And then who is blaming the Chancellor or PM? I don't know whether this is referring to the program we're doing at the moment or maybe to the British politics. He said the Chancellor or PM, there are global fundamental reasons and all countries are affected. Ghana is working, period. Okay, and then he went on to say that warmongers, heaven forgive you. There will be peace in Ghana after the results for the sake of people who live in Ghana. Do not wage havoc on Ghana while they're living in diaspora. Okay. Thank you very much. Sabato.
Dr. Martin.
Yes, sir. Sorry, it got
Dr.
a bit,
Martin, today.
It's got a bit tense.
Hello?
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's part of it. It's a debate. It's called debate. And
no, I know. I'm saying
heated.
That the reason I have to pause. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. So the reason I was saying that, go on. You're live on the floor. Go on. You want to say something?
Yeah. So today, we have been in this debate, this job with since years ago. But this evening, I feel so disappointed about him. Not the politics system. That one is allowed because he's an MPP man. But when he did say, because Nana
Joe,
is holding on to the
Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, when he was gay issue, because if Nana do make it in the law, we cannot borrow from maybe IMF or World Bank anymore because of that. But I don't think Senkakus need to be aware that this impacts the people's representative. That's the parliament. The parliament represents the whole Ghana. And this was done by both MPP and NDC. Someone like Dago, who say he read a lot of books and he know a lot, to be saying these things in this radio, I feel so disappointed, Doctor. I feel disappointed.
Why are you so disappointed? Is it the fact that you don't see Baumia as such high level of economic person?
No, I'm come today.
Okay.
Chicago, President could have even not this deal. Don't we know that the MPP is not part of it? But the people's representative, and because because we borrow Ghana, we call ourselves a sovereign. Not saying that because of this small borrowing that they put interest on it, we cannot make decision for our own. I feel so disappointed, Chicago. I feel so disappointed. Here, listen, Doctor.
You're disappointed about what?
Doctor.
You're disappointed about what?
Silaba Nana Akufo-Addo did not sign that girl law into law because of the borrowing issues.
What has that got to do with you being
they are not going to
disappointed?
give us money anymore.
What I want to know is, so what has that got to do with you getting disappointed with Segago?
Living here for a right of every sovereignty country, and for our MPs, people's house, people's representative of our parliament to pass a law, and for Segago to come here and say that because if that law is being passed, we will not get a sovereign country.
Okay.
Segago, you should give your MPP credit. You go better than you. Thank you. And also, as I'm moving on, Dr. Dubaumia, our vice president, the economic wizard, he took first-class honor degree in economics at the Buckinghamshire University, right, in 1987.
Yes,
He then obtained his degree at Lincolnshire College, Oxford, right?
Yes.
And then obtained PhD in right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. All this thing, because of all this, his qualification, his background, being economist, that's the reason why Nana Akufo-Addo picked him.
Yes.
Running mate, and Nana Akufo-Addo told Ghanaian, look, I'm not good in fact, even when I finish Legon, I fail on economy. My adding up is not good. And people were, who is he? Said, who is he? Among the MPP people, they asked this question in 2008. They were asking who is stood up on him. They make it hard for him to be. So for him to come and make all the platform talking about economy, telling Ghanaians, you need to do, when you go to IMF, when you add this and add, you go to IMF. There was a time, even when Ghanaian, other institutions, like when they bring inflation rate and that, Baumia will say, no, I don't agree with it. He will ask his wife, Samira Baumia, let's go to the market. Let's go and buy things for ourselves and see how the economy is doing. So the people of Ghana got confidence in Baumia somewhere 2016. Every platform you go, Baumia is preaching about economy. If you do this, you end up here. Baumia tell us that if we borrow, we end up in IMF.
You think it's let us down? You think it's let us down? Yeah.
So the belief was there. So Segago, for such person to come into power and under his leadership would.
Okay, I understand you. So you don't know why Segago has confidence in Baumia? Is that what I'm supposed to understand?
With all this economic background,
Tawato, you have 2 minutes, and then I'll come to ODUPONG, and then come to Segago himself.
and for us to be buying a dollar.
I think that Baumia has let this gentleman down.
And yes, you see, so these are the things that people are questioning now. People are questioning now. So for
sure.
him, under him,
but you have confidence in Baumia. You still have confidence in Baumia.
Look, one of my colleagues did mention of Palugu Dam. Just last 2 years, Baumia, as our vice president, was sitting in front at Asampa. Can you tell Ghanaian one single project of government in northern part where you came from? So, Palugu Dam, it's a brilliant one. They're making sure that this dam will be done and fixed and make it proper use. It's one of the not last 2 weeks. I don't know who public accounts committee.
All right, Salatu, you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
Oh, doctor, hold on. Okay, thank you. It turned out that Baumia, they have paid $11 million to a contractor for a job not done. And Baumia, our vice, doesn't even know about this. $11 million and the bank of the governor, Anderson, why did you pay this money? So, as for me, they bring their genuine papers and they say I need to pay to the contractor, which I did. $11 million. So, not Palugu Dam, not even side. There is no contractors on the side. Our 11 million is gone for nothing. Just like
okay,
again,
Sabatu.
Baumia was on the platform.
Mr. Robin, we in Kakra.
Oh, well, 2 minutes is not up, doctor.
No, Menka said,
Doctor, hold
Mr.
on.
Omeno, Menka said, Kasa,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Omeno.
Okay, just last, Baumia was on the platform going after John Dramani Mahama. John Dramani Mahama canceled lessons allowance. Then came in question and answer time. And next, a lady stood up and questioned, Baumia, I'm on my final year. I've not received one dime of allowance. What is happening? In front of him. Now we are talking about his credibility is down. Baumia has no credibility. Baumia done lectures about we are not supposed to be paying us for the past year levy. Baumia they know what a word. Baumia until recently has not spoken about this gay and lesbian thing that was going on. So how do you expect and give him because they still want to rule if Baumia become a leader? That's one fine, but that leadership can remain within the MPP.
Mr.
To be a president.
Okay.
Because what I know is government term, you assess the government performance, then the Ghanaians give them the nod. For your poor performance, I don't think the Ghanaians will give this current MPP government. Dr. Martin, since from last year, every opinion post that has come out has put NDC sometimes with 25% or 30%. But we are not going to rely on that. That is why we waste our time and come to your program just to campaign to make sure that we do the good job and cross the line.
Okay.
This time we know the 7th December.
All right.
Therefore, NDC to win. That's why you can see all this limited registration that is going on. We are making sure that right?
Okay.
So that because we have said that we are not going to the court. And we are not going to the court.
All right.
So, Dr. Gago, you need to tell Baumia to do his homework, to come back to the drawing board, make sure that the feed is stable, because tomorrow you hear then you hear is £18.50. The next hour you go is £19. I don't think this is what the Ghanaians voted for. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Oba.
Yes.
Baumia. I think people are beginning to not to have much confidence in credibility as I don't know. I think he's not putting, as you said, he's not. You might say there's a driving because Nana Akufo-Addo is the main leader of the country.
That's right.
But then what do we expect from that? He's not doing. He's an assistant anyway. We can't carry all the blame on him. If he takes the affairs as a leader hopefully next year, which it's in the hands of God. You'll be with me. But then we can know, say, okay, whether he's doing his job or what he has in store for Ghanaians.
Yeah, yes. I think Sir Gabo he likes Adam Smith so much because every time he's quoting Adam Smith.
Okay.
But I think there was also another.
I know John Skinney and all those people.
Economist who also said, in order to have full employment, you must dig the hole. Allow people to dig the hole and let them put back the sand and dig again. So probably if Adam Smith economy is not working, why don't we try other economies? You see, we know Dr. Baumia is a brilliant guy with all the economic accolades. And that's why Nana brought him to be his economic management among the economic.
Is he not proving himself? Is that what the problem of the people? Is he not proving himself enough, or what?
Well, at the moment, you can't say he's proven himself in the sense that people are suffering. The people on the ground.
Is it that? Well, I know I have family back home.
Mm.
I mean, things are hard, but is it that much of a drastic change as compared to a few years ago?
Yes, but again,
Doctor,
Yeah. Ufan,
yeah.
let me land, Ufan. I'll come back to you when it's done. You are next, please.
when you look from the time of Rollins and Rollins School, yeah, things has been hard at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a coup. But again, the coup couldn't solve anything. Rather, it made things worse. Even that one was more horrible because a lot of people were killed, judges, and they were killed. And the problem wasn't solved. How many market women were not beaten on the street in Makola or Kumasi Market? Today we are in the same thing. We are back to IMF. Do we not think that probably it is not the government policy, but it is the outside influence? That's one thing we need to look at. And then the other thing we need also to look at, as I said last week, is the sabotage going on in Ghana at the moment is what is destroying any government. Because if NDC comes, NPP will sabotage. If NPP come as they are now, NDC is sabotaging. How can we are in an election year and all of a sudden we have Dumso? And what people are saying,
you and I live here,
Dumsi,
and we do know the speed of how high it is to Dumso,
yeah,
and all that. But it looks like this very recent is when it's becoming a bit worse because they can take like the whole day, including the next day.
Yeah,
and
I was in Ghana when it was coming. Even 2 weeks, we didn't have water.
Okay.
So the economy started going down and bad. Public amenities were dwindling. Okay. So it's come to a point that we can no longer depend on Adam Smith's theories. Those are old-fashioned theories. What we need to do is to look at what somebody like Bawumia, having read all the economic books and all the economic theories, should be able to propound a theory that will suit our economy, our country. But we are always relying on people and outside influence, which is not helping us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Mackenzie, when you finish, I'll come to Segabo and then we finish with Joe. Mackenzie, you're back on.
Yeah. I agree 100% with the last caller because look, creativity, because after learning from someone, you devise another means to fit into your own type of, in terms of our culture, our everything. Yeah. So I don't know what is wrong. He mentioned one thing that I enjoyed so much, that when a government comes into power, there's no need for the opposition to sabotage. Because when you sabotage, we are walking backwards. You have to contribute for their 4 years. No, when your contribution will let Ghanaians know that, look, you are good. We have to try you next time. You understand me? But our own is to sabotage so that they will not move 2 steps ahead. This is the problem we have in Africa.
You agree? You agree? NDC does that as well. At least you being a sympathizer of the NDC.
Yeah, both of them.
I like your honesty. I like your honesty.
Yeah, both of them do it, and which is totally wrong. Look, I've been. Look, when you come to advanced countries, and your mindset start to click up, you start to understand things. Oh, come on, you will never support, even though you say you are CPP, you are this. If CPP is doing something that is wrong, you have to tell CPP.
As it is.
Yeah, but how in Ghana, when the finance minister was messing things up, these people are still supporting him. It's the problem of in Africa. Just because someone is better at the other side and is sharing his ideas, and because you are in power, you don't want your own people to know that you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. If you don't have a clue, you don't have a clue. So if another Ghanaian from other party have got a clue to help run things, because the moment they give you 4 years, if you cannot do anything for Ghana, it means that 4 years is a waste. So both parties, in the parliament, both parties work together, and that's that is what happened. I think it will reach a time we Africans will understand that this opposition and look at China. Look at China. Is there any opposition in China? There's no opposition in China. They are borrowing the whole world money. So this opposition and in power, opposition in power, we have to find another way. That's what my honorable brother said. It is a very good idea. This is common sense.
Okay.
You can go to all type of university in the world. This is an ordinary common sense. A fisherman can bring a very good idea that will save our economy than the one who have got all the degrees. Because you are going to go, but he's going to use his common sense.
Okay,
because
thank you very much.
If I went to,
land for me. I'm saying thank you. I mean, you're making a good point, and I'm saying thank you.
Yeah, so it's about time that we the citizens, we have to tell them, when you go to parliament, they say MPP member for Menshia, MPP member for this. I agree with that. But when it comes to work in, it's about Ghana. It's not about
individuality. Okay, all right, no problem.
Yeah, because the Ghanaians, the Ghanaians who are suffering, that you people want to better their life, so all of you are there to think about our people. So it's not about, so even our parliament, look at our parliament, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So the kind of democracy we are practicing, I bet to differ.
All right. Well, our time is almost up, so we're going to do it bit by bit. Mackenzie, thank you very much. Let me see if I can get Gabu, and then I'll come to Joe, and then I see Felix came in, but for some reason he couldn't hold the line. All right, so Gabu, we're back to you again. I think your placing by Omea High spilled a bit of beans, and then because a bit of because that's not how people see Baumia as his. Well, we don't doubt his credibility as somebody with high standard in economics, but they feel he could do more or do better.
Okay, thank you. Let me say this. Sir Gabo from Sacramento, I will always defend the MPP government. I will always defend the MPP government if I speak on any political platform, I don't speak because I don't think MPP doesn't have limitations in their governance. I speak in relative terms that in spite of all the problems you are facing, MPP is always better than NDC. I speak always in relative terms. And Sir Gabo from Sacramento will always speak for the MPP. I'll defend the party to the hilt. Only one thing Ghanaians know. Ghanaians is only one political party in Ghana that always brings economic growth and bring all the varied and many social interventions than NDC. Another point I want to make here is that Ghanaians seem to be disappointed in the MPP government. They said in 2016, when you go to 2020, NDC was going to win. Nana still won. I'm telling you, if you're going to be another third term, Nana will still win the election. But now, Baumia is going to win. You see, the reason why point is that Ghanaians have so much expectations in because former President Mahama did the Ghanaian economy. He ran the economy from 14% to 3.4%. So Ghanaians high expectations. If you things that MPP did not suggest, they were putting that right. That is why Ghanaians seem to be disappointed. I want to make another point here that somebody said that, oh, Ghana will be like Cote d'Ivoire.
Gago, please, if you say he ran from 14 to 3.5, what do you mean? 14%
to 3.4.
What do you mean?
2000. So I want I know why you are saying that. I know when you say that. The 14% was doing President Atamesta, Professor Atamesta. I'm so honest, I will say this. Doing Professor Atamesta. Handed over to
you mean the GDP or the growth?
Sorry?
You mean growth or what? You mean
I'm talking about growth. I'm not talking about GDP.
Yeah, you need to be specific. That's why
I said economic growth, my friend. I didn't say GDP. How can Ghana's GDP be 14%? How on earth? I'm not an economic illiterate. I'm not to say that Ghana's economy GDP is about $80 billion. I'm talking about economic growth. Give 3.4%. Why should we give back to he's not capable of doing that. Somebody is going to be like Cote d'Ivoire. That person who's speaking like a boogeyman, that NDC guy who spoke like a boogeyman hanging on a tree, going to bring something in Ghana, my friend. If you tempt, you would rather go and vanish. Nothing will happen to Ghana. We do it. Stop that threat. Ghana for your pentaqua impeded. Obedient Ghana, you be election a free and fair. Baumua, Ajima, we win that.
But you know, but say Gabo, so when him say Senia amount for Rwanda and Sudan. It all started. No, I'm not saying what I'm saying. What is it? Started kakran and don't talk about so.
Ghana is not gonna happen.
Well, we hope
it's
so.
Not gonna happen.
We hope so.
It's not gonna happen. It's not. No one is for Ghana. What is it? What was a Ghana? Also,
over MC at time as well. Over CNP, any of my last person near Compacho. About 11 o'clock.
Doctor, I think you need to draw a brother into it. What you must look for?
Okay, listen. Okay, I will do. You want to say about Bongo Futua? And I hold that. You owe me a bomb and Futu. The bomb go Futu. No. Ghana to quite the boy in Pebas. And then, woman was it? Give a guess. Was you come from Ghana? I said, what? You people are bad peace. Brony and to train. 3 hours ago, going in the was it gonna for me peaceful? Was 2 women with a good guy? It almost you say, where's a beast? To walk to yeah, I can't see me on MORTON.
Yes, sir.
2017. to 2020, Ghana was a 8%. And GDP. Ghana was the first in the world, not in the world. After COVID, and they say I don't want to believe it. Dr. Montemaka, baby, Jesus,
I'm saying, time I see a boy that will what's the any compassion? Tibu and my 5 July, Pacho.
I think, you don't want to believe. Commissioner Grandma, what you Ghana, and this is for people what did that? And more, it don't know. Now, the entire young cousin, we need to for background on here. Oh, beer, we debate, oh, beer, anything industrialized. If you so base, the top, and this is for 100. Yeah, top MPP. Then I can't do that. But you say yeah. You're quiet. I don't think you're quiet. My friend,
over Pacho, one thing I'm in you, why, Mr.
I need my time as well. We are. I don't know people in economics. If you my friend,
we don't need to have PhD before we can answer we can ask a question.
I think so. Felix. Well, I'm Felix. Okay, so from Mama now, but I say Uncle Casa, one Uncle
Next week. We are quite
last person not here.
Okay.
Where you're quite something. Okay, sir. I think our time is up. Unfortunately, we would have to go because we couldn't have the chance. You know, it's time to go home now. So we'll see you next week, hopefully. And then this has been Newsfile. Thank you very much for joining us. Do have a good night.